What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another Nintendo Switch RPG news and more. Today, we've got a lot of great topics for you guys. But before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. Now, let's go ahead and first start off with this next generation Nintendo Switch RPG. In addition to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series PC, the campaign Kickstarter Penny Blood, we've got a brand new campaign trailer. This game looks amazing. This is the spiritual successor to Colt hit from the PS2 days, Shadow Heart. So Matthew's going full fusion with Dragon Ball Z here. No, not Dragon Ball Z, Penny Blood. So Yukikaze, that's the name of the development studio that's doing the double Kickstarter with Armed Fantasia, which is the spiritual successor to the Wild Arms franchise, has released a trailer for Shadow Heart's spiritual successor Penny Blood alongside the game's double Kickstarter campaign launched with Armed Fantasia to the End of the Wilderness. Now, if you missed the announcement and what I've talked about, this is my third video on this. The first video I talked about just the Armed Fantasia, what's going on there. The second video went more into depth with Armed Fantasia and the new footage that they showed off. Now we have this one here with Penny Blood, and what makes this one cool or interesting, at least from a development standpoint, is that it's kind of far off, right? They're starting the Kickstarter today. They're looking for about $750,000 with this double Kickstarter, but obviously they want more to introduce all these different types of new features and things that could be in the game. But what's interesting, because they say that this is going to come to the next Nintendo Switch hardware, the next hardware that Nintendo has. So obviously it's not going to be a Switch title, so that means it's going to be a number of years off, maybe 2-3 years off or so, if this campaign Kickstarter goes smoothly, which I think that it will, because the Kickstarter, I've clicked on it and I'm taking a look, and you guys are checking out this new footage here, and they already have $373,000. Now, this just started recently, okay, the 29th. So yesterday, it's obviously going to hit that and much more, because they have 31 days left to go. So people are excited about what is going on here and with this, and this new Penny Blood trailer looks absolutely incredible. So people are excited. This is going to be funded, and this is going to happen on PS5, Xbox Series, PC, and the next generation Nintendo Switch. So very cool to actually see gameplay footage, what they're showing here, and I think that this is going to end up being pretty good, because you do have the original creators of these franchises doing this, and it was smart to do a double Kickstarter because it feels like you're getting a bit more, right? And it wasn't anything crazy when it comes to what they're looking for. They're looking for, you know, $721,000, and they're getting quite a bit here. They should get a lot more than that. I think they're going to need a couple million or so to really make this what they want to make it for both of these games. So I'm guessing they're going to end up with at least minimum of $2 million plus. So hopefully it's a lot more than that, so they can make this the best type of games they can make here. But I'm excited because I loved the Wild Arms franchise, and I rented Shadow Hearts quite a bit back in the day, and I thought that it was cool. But Wild Arms was definitely my more favorite out of the two. But I'm excited for Penny Blood. What do you guys think about Penny Blood and this brand new footage that you guys are seeing here from the campaign Kickstarter? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, now moving on to the next topic, we have a little bit of an update on Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle and the player count. So this is interesting how Ubisoft phrased it, and I think that it's a little bit of marketing to get ready for Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Otherwise, they wouldn't have just revealed this random information for a game that came out, you know, about 5 years ago now. Pretty much 5 years ago. Yeah, right around this time. I think that's the reason why that they talked about it. Yeah, it's the anniversary. So there you go. So I think that it's, one, the anniversary, but also two, hey, look at this bit of information to kind of get people talking about Mario plus Rabbids, since the new one is coming out in October. So Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle tops 10 million players. Ubisoft announced that Nintendo Switch exclusive Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle has surpassed that 10 million count. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle released on the Nintendo Switch back on August 29, 2017. So 5 years to the day. And on the Twitter account, it says 10 million, mind blown, happy 5th anniversary Mario plus Rabbids. I think what makes Mario plus Rabbids such a joy and fun to play is that, one, you didn't expect it to be as good as it is, but two, it kind of follows that really cool Fire Emblem / XCOM type of feel to it, but it adds its own unique elements, like being able to boost the people and like jump really high and move them to other spots. I think that the upgrade system was really cool. Exploration was really well done too, and the graphics are great as well. And the story isn't half bad. The DLC with the Donkey Kong stuff is awesome too. Now, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope looks absolutely incredible. That game looks so good. Looks like it's pushing the Switch a lot too when it comes to the graphical style, and it looks like it's pushing the Switch quite a bit. That's why I've always been a big fan of third-party companies making exclusives for the Switch more so than ports, because if you look at the ports, yes, they're good for what the hardware is, but if you look at the games made for the Switch, they always just have this extra coat of polish and just run better and look better, and Mario plus Rabbids is no exception to that. So I'm excited for the next game. I think it's going to be really cool. Sparks of Hope is looking hype, and shout outs to 10 million players that have played it. So this includes, I think, like the demos or whatever, like the Nintendo Switch Online stuff. This includes probably people playing co-op. I'm not really sure, but we do know that this is one of the best-selling third-party quote-unquote games on the Nintendo Switch, with over 4 or 5 million units that we know that it's sold. But I'm not exactly sure how much it sold, but obviously they made a ton of money because Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope got a bigger development team, got a bigger budget, so I think that the next game is going to do great too. So what are your thoughts when it comes to Mario plus Rabbids and Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope? Looking forward to the game in late October? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys, we do have Marvel's Midnight Suns trailer highlights the Hunter. So Marvel Midnight Suns has released its latest character trailer with a look at the Hunter. She was a demigoddess of evil that actually died at one point but has been resurrected. Now here's some more information on this, and once again, people are sleeping on this game and you shouldn't really sleep on it. I think it's actually pretty good. This is from the people who made XCOM. Speaking of Mario plus Rabbids, which takes inspiration from XCOM, these are from the people that made XCOM, and XCOM has always been a great franchise in gaming. So centuries ago, the Hunter was born the only child of an ordinary man and a powerful immortal. When the Hunter's father fell victim to a plague, the Hunter's mother, the sorceress Lilith, was consumed by grief. Her inner turmoil twisted her magic and led her down a path of darkness until she became a demigoddess of evil. As she and her demonic hordes ravaged the earth, the Hunter was raised in secret by Lilith's sister, Caretaker, as a weapon against Lilith. When the Hunter came of age, they provided the only hero strong enough to defeat Lilith and restore peace. However, the battle was won at great cost, and the Hunter was slain alongside the demon mother. Both were buried and forgotten for centuries, until Lilith was raised by the infamous Hydra organization, her devastating powers augmented and amplified by modern technology and magic. Although the Hunter has been resurrected as well, they are haunted by their own demons of grief and guilt, leaving them to battle not only their mother, but also their inner darkness and light. So really cool here, guys. We do know that Marvel's Midnight Suns will launch sometime in 2023. It did get delayed, I think twice now, because it was delayed until October, then the Switch version was delayed until later in the year, and then the other versions with PS5 and Series X, those were delayed to in the fiscal year of early next year, then Switch versions after that. So it's a little bit complicated with all the delays and stuff, but they're trying to make the best game that they can make. And based off of this combat footage and what they're showing here, I think that Marvel Midnight Suns could be a sleeper hit for 2023, especially on the Nintendo Switch. It's a strategy RPG, card-based battling, but it's not just cards on the screen. You actually see your character as well. It's a really unique mix, and I think that it's going to be great to play portable as long as the Switch version is up to snuff, at least here. And also the PS4 and Xbox One versions, they also got delayed with the Switch version as well. We'll see if those versions even come out by that time. They might just can those versions in general. But what do you guys think about the Hunter and Marvel Midnight Suns? Does this game look pretty cool, or maybe not so hot on it right now? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving into the final topic here, guys, Splatoon 3 receives a massive 7-minute trailer. So Nintendo is once again promoting Splatoon 3 with another lengthy trailer, with the latest one coming in at 7 minutes. For now, it's Japanese only, but an English version will likely follow, which I will talk about probably in one of my live streams if we do get that. And the trailer introduces us to the core elements of the game, like the weapons and stages. Other aspects are covered, including the different modes like single player and salmon run. Now here's a little bit of an overview of it. Enter the Splatlands, a sun-scorched desert inhabited by battle-hardened Inklings and Octolings. Splatsville, the city of chaos, is an adrenaline-fueled heart of this dusty wasteland. Even in this desolate environment, turf war reigns supreme and battles rage in new stages located in the surrounding wilds, such as the majestic Scorched Gorge. Dynamic new moves help these fighters dodge attacks and cover more ground, along with a new bow-shaped weapon to sling ink and new special weapons, such as the scuttling crab tank, which I do like that crab tank quite a bit. Now, I actually watched this whole trailer here, and I've been looking and paying attention to some of the talk around Splatoon 3 with the whole Splatfest that went down, and I think that there's definitely some issues that they need to address, like with the tricolor Splatfest stuff, which that'll get better as they balance the game. The game is actively receiving support for the next 2 years plus, so they're going to make adjustments, just like they made adjustments for Splatoon 1 and also Splatoon 2. But there's definitely the narrative that I see that Splatoon 3 is too much like Splatoon 2, and they haven't really done anything new, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I can understand some of it, but then I kind of don't understand, because this is what sequels are supposed to be doing. They're supposed to add new weapons, they're supposed to add new ways to play, they're supposed to add a new single player campaign, they're supposed to add new specials, they're supposed to add new stages. That's what sequels do. They don't take everything and upend the tea table with a successful sequel, just like Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3. It's no different from that, or even like Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3. You're supposed to just add new things. It's the same core gameplay that you like, and then put in new things that make it feel fun, new specials, new movement options, which they've done. So I don't really see why that's an issue, or it's become an issue right here at this point. And also the graphics overhaul as well. Like, the graphics look absolutely incredible. They are a big jump over Splatoon 2. You can tell that Splatoon 2 was built off of just the first game, you know, what they were doing with that. I think that Splatoon 3 was actually built for the Nintendo Switch in mind, whereas Splatoon 2 might have been built for the Wii U in mind, then just kind of put over, which is why they were able to get it out so early in the Nintendo Switch's life. But I think that Splatoon 3 is actually built for the Switch because the graphics are much improved. But I also think that like the single player campaign is going to be a big thing here, because they're adding in those Octo expansion stuff that we saw from the recent Nintendo Treehouse, the challenges plus the single player. So there's going to be a lot of content. This is probably the most complete shooter, new shooting game that we've gotten in quite some time. Every time that I see a new shooter that comes out that people like, it seems like it's devoid of actual like single player and content, or it comes way later, you know, when it comes to stuff like Valorant, or when it comes to like Overwatch back when that came out. A lot of games don't actually come with the co-op, come with the single player, come with the multiplayer, and all of that intact day one, and Splatoon 3 is doing that. So I kind of see Splatoon 3 as like the leading when it comes to a new shooter coming out and the content that they're providing, plus free updates. They did say that there's going to be a paid single player DLC, which is fine and all, but they're giving us all of that, plus you get that extra free content with weapons and everything, and all the previous weapons are going to make their return, plus new weapons. So I can understand a little bit, but then I start looking at everything, I'm like, well, wait a minute, let's look at the landscape of gaming here and who's actually doing this. A lot of stuff is launching without all the stuff that came out previously, and Splatoon 3 is doing that, then some. So I think that this is going to be a fantastic game to pick up if you're into third-person multiplayer shooters, and even if you just want to play the single-player experience or the co-op experience, I think it's worth it for that too, after playing quite a bit here and seeing more of the Treehouse. I've always been a Splatoon fan. I was one of the first to play it back in the day at E3 2014, and I felt that it was going to be a big thing for Nintendo because it controlled so smooth, and it was such a unique and fun concept. And, you know, all these years later, here we are with Splatoon 3, and it's still just that. It's absolutely incredible in terms of what they've had to do here. But I understand it from both sides, but I'm looking at it like, well, wait a minute, let's look at the landscape and see what everyone else is doing compared to what Nintendo's doing with Splatoon 3, and I think that Splatoon 3 is just as good, if not better, or surpassing what other multiplayer shooters have done at launch. So what do you guys think about this when it comes to everything that we discussed? Penny Blood, also Armed Fantasia, Mario plus Rabbids, Marvel's Midnight Suns? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.